Welcome to another great episode of What's the 411 Sports. I'm Glenn Gilliam.
I'm Naomi Gray.
I'm Jason Schott.
Jason, always great to see you. Thanks for coming back. I know we've got to talk about, this draft that's coming up, the NBA draft that's behind us now. It wasn't that great for the New York teams, if you know what I mean. So we're going to get to that a little later. But what were your impressions, Jason, of this draft?
Well, from the get-go, I was very surprised that Jahlil Okafor wasn't chosen by the Lakers. Everyone thought he would be like the successor to Shaq and Jabbar and all those Lakers centers. Sure. And instead he dropped to Philadelphia, and the Lakers went with the guard D'Angelo Russell from Ohio State. And they were already talking about using him as a trade chip. So go figure.
Yeah. Amazingly, the conversation about can he get along with Kobe, that's the first thing on, can anybody who comes to LA is going to be able to get along. But Okafor, I couldn't believe it. This is a guy who seems to be the most NBA ready. For him to get passed on, do you think Towns is going to pan out as far as what Minnesota is looking for? Or?
I don't think he's as appealing as Okafor. That's what was surprising to me.
Right. Do you think Kevin Garnett had anything to do with that choice? They're talking about, the protege kind of thing. Him mentoring him when he comes on. Do you think?
I think so, yeah, because they're going to keep Garnett for this year. And, judging by what Flip Saunders said about Kevin Garnett earlier in the season, he basically said he can see KG playing for another 4 years. Wow. So who knows? Yeah.
Flip's drinking. Flip loves the guy who, I'm sorry that he had to leave Brooklyn. Well, the saddest part for me is that we always seem to be right on the cusp of getting the guy we need. Needless to say, there was a lot to be said for the Knicks pick, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But in other draft news...
Yes, 27th overall draft pick Larry Nance Jr. deleted a tweet that he posted 3 years ago on Twitter. He was talking about Kobe Bryant when he was on his way to Denver. The tweet said, "Gee, I sure hope Kobe can keep his hands to himself in Denver this time. #rapist."
Naughty! Very naughty.
Upon being drafted, he deleted the post immediately. Because you know how media picks up everything. Whoever searched for that tweet, I don't know how they even thought to look for that, But
it lives forever.
Exactly, that's true.
Unless you're Hillary Clinton.
Exactly.
You really have to be careful about what you post online, as that shows. But Kobe Bryant wasn't, he seemed unbothered by it. He said, we all made stupid mistakes, and I'm pretty sure they'll be fine.
Yeah. No, look, if I had to put my 2 cents in, I'm sure he was probably working with his wife at the time. Look, I think it was smart for Larry. Look, let's just, this was a bad mistake.
Yeah.
I was 19 years old, didn't know what I was doing, having some fun. And Kobe, thankfully, is taking on kind of a mentor's role.
As he should. As he definitely should.
As a veteran player. And thankfully, he's able to move on beyond it.
Exactly.
But is this a message? Is there a teachable moment here?
I would say so, that he understands where he is in his place, and basically it would have been petty for him to make it an issue for a guy just arriving to his team.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully, other players and young players learn from this. It's in the Twitter sphere. You don't want to do it. If you got to think about it twice, don't pull the trigger.
Especially if, at age 19, he probably, knew he had the aspirations to, eventually be drafted. So, he knew what he did was wrong, so that's why he deleted it immediately. So, good for him.
Well, unfortunately, we have to start talking about the Knicks and the Nets. Jason, Latvia, really? That's where we're getting our players from?
Well, it was funny how the Knicks fans basically were booing Kristaps Porzingis, who could have tremendous upside. And then, an hour later, we're trading away Tim Hardaway Jr., who's proven himself here. Guy can shoot for Jeremy Grant, who I don't think Jeremy Grant is going to light the league on fire.
Right.
Yeah. So that was kind of strange.
Well, this guy, everything that you hear, athletic. As far as Porzingis is concerned, he's got a jumper, a nice range on his jumper. He's got athletic skills. And I think, unfortunately, people didn't get a chance to get familiar with him in terms of a college career. So I think folks are just, the jury's out. But is he ready now, NBA ready now? Can he deliver for us next season? That's the big thing. What do you think?
I don't think so. They're talking 2 to 3 years. Wow, that's the thing. Okay. So the hope is that by 22,
Phil Jackson will be out of here.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be Isaiah again,
Oh, gosh. I don't know about that.
Oh, my God. That's another show. Wow. No, but that's what can Fisher be thinking? Derek Fisher be thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
He needs help now. Yeah. You cannot go into next season with the record they had this year. It's just they've got to produce,
but they have money to spend. Right.
Is Bargnani gone? Bargnani's gone, right? Or no?
I think so.
Really? Is he still hurt? Okay. It's hard to keep a track, but big news from the Nets camp.
Well, the Nets traded. Hardaway was a 2013 draft pick for the Knicks. The Nets traded their 2013 draft pick Mason Plumlee to Portland for Rondé Hollis Jefferson, who has a lot of upside.
Okay.
And, I mean, Plumlee, it was a weird 2 years that he basically was going from basically the bench to starting back and forth. Sure. And just when he was given the job this year, he just floundered. He wasn't nearly as good. And then Brooke Lopez came in, was scoring 25 a night.
Exactly. He didn't look bad.
Exactly.
Well, I think it was that poor showing at the dunk contest.
Oh, that was sad.
That was ugly. That was ugly.
The leap over his brother, which they immortalized in a photo at Barclays. I'm like, really?
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Did they really?
Yep. It's like they want a memory of this night.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Even Sprite doesn't want to see that again. That's bad news. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's going to be any real hope for the Knicks going into next season, but I think, given the draft, can we expect any? I mean, there's been some nice things as far as off-season pickups, possibly David West from Indiana. There's a talk, my guy, Alice, no, who's from Portland?
Aaron LaFlalo?
No, I'm sorry.
Nicholas Batum?
I'm blowing. He's really good. He's the center for Portland who's looking to opt out. But anyway, I mean, there's a couple of nice pickups that the Knicks could get. Yeah. I'm just praying that we have a chance to grab a couple of these big guys. We need some enforcers. We need a personality. We don't have an identification right now.
I don't think it's going to happen, but okay.
Or the only identification is Carmelo, who cares more about his brand than winning, and that's an issue.
I hate to say that's. I mean, Carmelo hasn't had any. Do you think he's got any influence in terms of these choices?
He should, because he's their equivalent of Kobe or LeBron.
Right.
But on the other hand, the guy's only won one playoff series, so it's a kind of tricky. It's a tricky thing.
Well, you don't think he had anything to do with Shumpert and JR leaving? I'm sure.
No. And he wanted to keep Hardaway, so he and Phil, who knows?
Yeah, they're not on the same page. I mean, it doesn't pretend to be really good going into next season. That's sad. Anyway, we've got to move on. We're going to talk about U.S. women's soccer. It's big time right now. The U.S. women's soccer team, they beat China 1-0. They were in one of the toughest divisions, and they seem to be getting through whatever is needed. They seem to be able to get through to the quarterfinals. At the time of this taping, the team is going to be preparing to meet Germany in the semis. Big deal, right?
Oh, definitely a big deal. And I mean, it's basically World Cup title or bust. They haven't won one since '99.
Which is amazing. I know we were talking about it off camera. You were talking about the fact that we won at the Olympics.
In 12, yeah.
Exactly. I think it's given people the thought that we've had this championship run.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's been doing.
Right, yeah. I mean, living in a parallel universe, whatever. No, but I mean, this is a big deal. And so the semis is a chance against Germany?
Oh, definitely. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not like when we play the German men who have no chance. This is a case we should be better than them. I mean, beat China, that should have been, it's like, that was a big obstacle. Once they beat them, they've taken a lot of criticism. They have not lived up to the hype.
Sure.
The coach is a new coach. I think she was hired a year ago. They can't stand her for whatever reason. Hope Solo, all the off-field stuff, kind of, and she's, I mean, basically everyone knows she's going the second this ends. Abby Wambach probably retires. So this is like the last chance for this group, in a lot of ways.
Well, hey.
They could bring it home.
Do you think so? Great.
I hope so.
Go for it, U.S. Well, anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, and we got to say, just as an aside, the Tours of France is going to be taking off today on July 4th. Run! Vive la France! Anyway, we're going to be right back with more of What's Poppin'. Keep it locked.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to energy-saving bulbs. Saving energy saves you money.
Welcome back to What's the 411 Sports, and now we're talking about more of what's popping. I got to start it off here. I'm sorry, guys. We're talking about Russell Wilson, who's my guy. Okay. They're still having problems with Seattle and the conversation about his paycheck. When is this guy going to get paid? When are they going to get this deal done? It's amazing. Won a Super Bowl, went back-to-back, was within inches of winning 2 Super Bowls against championship quarterbacks. This guy's got a record that's unblemished except for the loss to Brady, and they can't get this guy's contract done. Is it amazing? Or?
It is amazing because that offense is very good, and he's the reason they're very good.
Exactly.
But they obviously think because their defense, stifled Peyton Manning in that Super Bowl. Well, it's all about our defense.
Right.
2 sides of the coin. I think you know that from the Jets.
Don't go there. No, but I mean, the Legion of Boom that played against Denver in that first Super Bowl that they won is completely different now. I mean, Earl Browner, who went over to New England and helped them win, making that block on Curse at the end. He's a big reason that the Patriots ended up winning that. I mean, they don't have the Legion of Boom that they used to, and they lost one of their corners in the very first half of the game, which the defense gave up that Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Seattle was in the lead, and Brady had to make a comeback, and they relied again on Russell Wilson to pull him out of it. And unfortunately, I think it's a bad sign because Russell, I think, is going to end up, him and his lawyer, going to dig in, and I don't blame him. They've got the credentials. They've got the stats.
Definitely.
But it didn't stop him from getting on the red carpet.
Right? He was on there with this woman last week at the BET Awards with Tiara, his new boo, his new flame.
She was the hot name of the night because
she did the Janet Jackson tribute.
That was hot. And they looked good on the red carpet.
They did.
They looked good. Russell's coming up.
Hopefully she helps him get that contract figured out or whatever.
Well, yeah. Well, needless to say, we've got to talk about our Mets.
That's right, and Steven Matz, another hot new kid on the mound and at the plate. His debut 7 2/3 innings, like 2 runs, but then 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs. I mean, maybe they should put him in left field the day he doesn't pitch.
Hey, put him on the mound. I mean, it's amazing how well they're playing. I know they're behind the Nationals right now, as of right now.
Exactly.
A couple of games.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's still June. That's
considering how bad they've been hitting.
Yeah.
To be in that position, I think it's pretty good. And they're playing. They're playing solid ball now. I think they're rounding into shape as, midterms are coming up, the All-Star break. How about our Yankees?
The Yankees is basically, taking tabs of who's hurt, whether Jacoby Ellsbury's hurt.
It's a mash unit.
Tanaka with Tommy, basically trying to push up Tommy John, so he keeps getting hit around. CC Sabathia looks finished.
Oh, no, don't say that. I know he's not holding it together. It's tough. It's
and otherwise, I mean, the difference between both clubs is they both basically around 500, but the Mets have all the buzz.
Right.
The Yankees are
all the buzz is around A-Rod.
That's true. Aside from A-Rod, the Yankees are pretty dull.
Exactly.
Has he hit his 3,000th yet? I think
he did.
He did.
Yeah. He's set like 5 records this year.
Yeah.
RBI records, hits.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So wait, I mean, quick aside, do they need to acknowledge and they need to honor him for these records? I mean, I know that's a big conversation piece. Is he going to get the acknowledgement? I mean, I know he went past Willie Mays, which nobody can stand, but the bottom line is, should he be acknowledged for those, or are those going to have an asterisk next?
He definitely should, because, I mean, the San Francisco Giants, they owned Barry Bonds.
Right,
they celebrated all his accomplishments.
Gotcha. Yeah, right.
They swept all under the rug, whereas the Yankees, they don't really back up their guys. And if George were around, I don't think he'd allow this sort of, like, sweeping his records under the rug to occur. You know?
Well, he's going to have to pay him. More importantly, is Cashman going to have to pay?
Exactly.
If you're going to hit those, those numbers, you got to pay out.
And it's going to be about $30 million with all these records coming up. He's hitting them all. You know?
And hopefully he didn't have Donald Trump negotiating his contract. Clearly, that's not good. Well, needless to say, somebody who's opting out, along with some other people, Kevin Love. What's the deal there?
Oh, man, he just didn't fit. I think that's what it was. I think LeBron...
he doesn't want to go to the finals?
I think LeBron really wasn't that fond of him, as it turned out. I think there was issues maybe with work ethic and just didn't fit in that offense, not quick enough. And the Lakers, they have the money. He went to UCLA. He's related to Mike Love of the Beach Boys.
Right, yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
So you're thinking he's not going to return to... You don't think so?
I would say it's, I'd say it's like 80-20 he leaves.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I think more important for LeBron is Tristan Thompson gets signed.
Yeah.
He wants that front line intact. I think they've already got
Mozgov. Yeah, once Mozgov came, that basically X'd out Love. That was the thing, you know.
Good deal. I love it. Well, I mean, LeBron's opting out, but we know he's trying to make room. He's trying to preserve.
Supposedly,
he's not leaving,
coming. He said he's coming back, and but the plan for
him
is
we believe
to do,
him?
I believe him this time. I do, but he's gonna go ahead and do the whole 1-year deal again, and then have the option to, opt out.
I can't imagine people burning his jersey again.
No, that
a lot of money lost that last time. That was not good.
Yeah, definitely the dramatics are not needed.
Well, on our side, though, do we have any? Is Dwayne Wade? Is he opting out in Miami?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there was a rumor he'd go to the Lakers to join Kobe, and I'm like, this could be 2012 all over again with Steve Nash. Are they kidding?
That's not going to happen.
I don't think that's definitely just a rumor. I don't think.
Miami is going to make sure that Dwayne Dwayne Wade comes back. I'm almost positive.
They definitely need him.
They've got to have. This guy is the franchise. I mean, that's,
exactly.
Knowing Pat Riley, he'll find a way to lure LeBron back down there. That
would be interesting. Is Bosh staying? Bosh is staying.
Yeah, Bosh has a 5-year deal. He got a max deal last offseason.
Right.
He's relaxing right now, going on vacations and whatnot. So,
well, needless to say, if we can't get LeBron for the Liberty, is the Liberty going to be New York Liberty women's game?
Well, this past Sunday, the New York Liberty beat the Los Angeles Sparks 79-70. Guard Sugar Rogers, she scored the career high of 23 points, and my girl rookie Kia Stokes, she had 4 blocks. This is the second game in a row that she had a total of 4 blocks. So she brings her total to the season to 19 blocks. So I'm really happy that the rookies are, showing out. About 2 weeks ago, my girl Brittany Boyd, she had a high of 18 points for the team. So the rookies are showing out. But, I can't really give them too much credit for this win because it was against the Sparks, who are 0-7.
Can we play the Sparks all the time?
Yeah, it was 0-7, and I was hoping for a blowout. It was only they tied like 3 times in the fourth quarter, so I'm a little worried there. But the coach was very satisfied with the way they played, so. Guess we'll see what's up for the rest of the season.
Well, I mean, look.
You actually got to rise out of limb beer. Just for excitement.
I know, it's shocking.
Well, I can't believe how badly the Sparks are playing, though. It's amazing. They've got some all-stars on that team.
It's something, there's just has to be no chemistry there. It's something, something's not right. Because to be 0-7, just...
Yeah, I mean...
bottom for the Western Conference standings, so it's just
not
really...
Not good for business either.
They
sell out the Staples Center, I think.
No doubt. One of the few franchises that did. Well, needless to say, keep it locked, because when we return, we're going to be talking about stories that are flying under the radar. You don't want to miss it.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to energy-saving bulbs. Saving energy saves you money.
Welcome back to What's the 411 Sports, and now it's flying under the radar.
Nice vocals.
Thank you, Glenn. I got a little tip from Barack. Sorry, we'll talk about him later. The Stanley Cup chase is over, but the NHL, even with the entry draft going on, taking a backseat to other sports league. What's going on in the NHL, though?
Well, the NHL always is.
No news there.
But once the Islanders shook things up, the team, they're moving to Barclays Center.
Right.
And next week they're going to have
Brooklyn.
Next week they have the blue and white scrimmage at Barclays Center on Wednesday the 8th. So go check that out.
Nice.
They made history in the 6th round when they selected Andong Son, the first Chinese-born player.
Whoa.
Yep.
Okay.
And
nice.
and there's a lot of excitement with the Islanders. They had a good season.
Sure.
They sort of fell apart at the end, but they were strong. They have a good roster. Whereas the Rangers, they had a mixed draft. They traded their backup goalie Cam Talbot, who filled in admirably for Lundqvist when he was out, and he basically was the reason they won the President's Trophy.
Sure.
And Sather got 3 picks back for Glenn Sather, the Ranger GM, only got 3 draft picks back. He didn't get one.
How does he remain the GM? This guy hasn't he been there for
for 15 years? He's as good with Dolan as I say he is with Dolan.
Right. Apparently, yeah, something. I mean, Dolan must be like, oh, there's a Rangers. Let me just go this way.
Exactly.
Does he even look at the locker room? Right? I
don't even think he knows when they play. They could win the Stanley Cup. He'll be sitting by the phone. Are we dead? Okay, good.
Unbelievable. It's just, I'm just amazed. But this kid's song, though. Does he actually have the skills? I mean, is he a big time player, or are they looking at a marketing ploy and getting those Jeremy Lin fans? Getting a little bit. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Mao Ying. I mean,
They can go from Sunset Park down the R train right to the arena.
I mean, there's a huge Asian fan base. That is a good move on a lot of levels.
Brett Yormark might have had a few. He might have phoned that one himself.
Needless to say, no. I mean, I think it's a smart move. You're going to a new location, and it's tailor-made.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty sweet. I think that's a good move for them. Well, great. Well, still focusing a little bit more on soccer, and what I know about this is not going to be comparable. You were there. Tell us what happened. NYCFC. And the Red Bulls.
That's right. They played yesterday. They second installed with the New York Derby. The first time they played in Jersey. So yesterday was the first time at Yankee Stadium. And
Home
you
game.
can imagine a lot more fanfare. The House of George built the whole 9 yards. 48,000 people sell out.
It's amazing.
It felt like a Yankee playoff game. It was that exciting. And the New York City, they scored in the 6th minute. They got a 1-0 lead early, but they couldn't get that second goal. So they only went in the second half of 1-0. And then the Red Bulls struck for 3 goals in the first half hour of the second half.
Okay.
Bradley Wright Phillips, their main star, got one of them. And so the Red Bulls won it 3-1. And after the game, their fans all took the upper deck. That's where they put them all, and they saluted their fans as if they were their own stadium. So very nice moment for them.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, playing at Yankee Stadium as your home stadium, that's amazing. But the Red Bulls come in and get an upset, I guess.
It wasn't away because they had a 4-game losing streak until they won the game prior to this past weekend's. And New York City had a 3-game win streak, and the loss was pretty damaging for them because their coach, Jason Kreis, afterwards said this was the first time he ever questioned if they gave an honest effort. So that's not what you want to hear from your coach. You know, like the loss was bad enough. You know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Take a couple of cues from. No, that's not a good look. That's it. Well, look. Speaking of soccer, amazingly, a little mix here. Carmelo Anthony. Who knew he owned a team? He's the owner of a soccer team in Puerto Rico, who's unfortunately suffering some real bankruptcy problems. But at a recent press conference in Bayamón, Puerto Rico, Carmelo announced that his new soccer team, called Puerto Rico FC, is an expansion team. They're going to be playing in the NASL starting in 2016 in the fall season. Exciting, I guess.
It's interesting because the NASL, that's the league our third New York team, the New York Cosmos, play in.
Whatever happened to the Cosmos? Really?
Well, they revived the brand and they put them in the second league.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
okay.
They have a second league. That's okay. I'm clueless here. Right?
You would think one league would be enough, right?
They're not selling out every. No, I mean that's interesting. So, I mean, any prospects of how this Puerto Rican team is going to fare? Or?
No idea.
Okay.
I don't know what they.
Interesting.
I don't know if they're. I mean, that's like Mexico is very big into soccer.
Sure.
I mean, Latin America's huge. I have no idea.
I wonder what his motivation was behind this. I guess, like, since isn't he like part
Puerto
Rican and stuff? So I guess
you
know. Soccer's pretty,
his
you know,
father probably
come
forced
up.
him into it. No, I have no idea. I'm just kidding.
His father's alive. I don't know.
Okay.
Awkward.
More news at 11. I have no idea. We got into his father's alive or not.
All right.
That's terrible. Okay. Hey, Naomi, I think you got some news on Leah Still. What's going on?
Leah Still, 5-year-old daughter of the Cincinnati Bengals offensive tackle Devon Still, is actually back home after being in the hospital for 5 months. Last year, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So, bravo to her. I'm glad that she's still battling, you know, fighting it out. She was actually in remission back in March. So, they're in the process of recovery, which is great. Also, she is up for, with her father, the Jimmy V Perseverance Award for the ESPYs. That will be on July 15th. Last year, Stuart Scott was awarded that award, so good for them.
That's great. I mean, her story's been documented well. Obviously, big, audience that Devon Still is enlisted and all that kind of support. And it's just,
so his jerseys to help with her cancer treatment. Great story. So
and he's still playing too.
Yes, he is exactly.
He's keeping his job.
Exactly. Training camp right around the corner.
Yeah, no, it's a good look for him. Okay, well, fabulous. Look, well, when we come back, we're going to be talking about people that are on the bench. We've got a new segment. It's going to be incredible. No more doghouse, or at least we're putting them off until we get some real criminals. But no, it's new on the bench. You're going to love it. Keep it locked.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks.
Welcome back to What's the 411 Sports, and now it's a new segment, On the Bench. Unbelievably, I have the first story. And needless to say, this kid, Antonio Allen, you're talking about people behaving badly. Allen's going to be facing 10 to 30 years in prison. This is a kid from Indiana University, played football. He was selling drugs, caught by the state police, selling drugs to an informant. I mean, these guys always end up getting busted. Right. It's always somebody that's undercover. They end up doing the wrong thing. And I don't know what this kid was thinking, but a subsequent search of his apartment resulted in finding a Colt 45 handgun, 47 grams of cocaine, 13 grams of heroin. This guy was having major parties. 3.5 smoked blunts. And the police also found $120 in cash, which included money paid by Allen to the informant. I mean, he's done. It's between 10 and 30 years, this guy's effectively done. Unfortunately, he was charged with dealing cocaine, dealing heroin over 10 grams, while possessing a firearm, both of which are level 2 felonies. as well as a lesser charge of dealing methamphetamines just as a kicker. I mean, I guess he didn't have, he had some spare time. He just threw some amphetamines in there. Ironically, guys, before all of this happened with Antonio, he had posted a photo on Instagram which was showing him being featured on the cover of this Big Ten magazine. I mean, amazing, showing how he had come through some bad things, but he's, overcome adversity. I mean, he said his quote is, "If you knew where I came from and all the trouble I was in when I was younger, you can see I did a 360 and I'm blessed. Thank you, God." I mean, just amazing, And it's like you can't take the kid out of the hood. I mean, unbelievable. But, hopefully it'll be a teachable moment for some of the younger players.
Yes, hopefully.
Very sad. Anyway, unfortunately, not so good for also on the bench, am I putting, ESPN. They are putting, their stock and trade in Caitlyn Jenner, who used to be Bruce Jenner, but they're giving her the Arthur Ashe Award, and, for courage and all of that. And, I mean, I think under other circumstances it would be okay. But this woman is going to be dealing with the court system because Bruce was in a car accident, and unfortunately he's being held responsible for possibly someone being killed. He hit a car in front of him, which pushed her into oncoming traffic. The woman died, and this thing is still being meted out in the police system, and then it's going to go to the courts. Ultimately, I don't think ESPN should have jumped the ship and said, you know what, for marketing, for ratings, we're going to put Caitlyn Jenner front and center and give her such a prestigious award as the Arthur Ashe Award.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Welcome back to What's the 411 Sports, and now for the stories that are in the pipeline. Jason.
Yes, the Women's World Cup closes tomorrow night.
Wow.
Yep.
That's exciting.
Always is. Always gets people going, and hopefully it'll translate to one of the local local women's leagues. They're starting about the third incarnation of one. Maybe finally it'll take hold.
Well, hopefully they win. Good luck, guys.
And a sign: the Summer Olympics are right around the corner. Or I guess we're a couple of years away. That's right. The Pan American Games are July 10th in Toronto.
Wow, I like Toronto. Okay, cool.
And also, Carrie Champion, co-host of ESPN's First Take, has gotten the opportunity to become a co-host on SportsCenter. So, Shout out to Carrie Champion, doing it big. And she starts her new gig in mid-July. So, great job. Congrats.
Yeah, good job, Carrie. I like Carrie. She's good.
Great.
First Take's going to miss her. Okay, well, African American Golf Digest reports that the AU Golf National Championship is going to be held July 23rd to the 26th in Millington, Tennessee. Get those tickets.
And speaking of a sport that's very much close to golf, U.S. Tennis Association's Connecticut Open will be held August 21st to 29th at the Connecticut Tennis Center at Yale up in New Haven.
Nice. Wow. Very hoity-toity, whatever. Well, I don't know what happened to the time, but that'll do it for another great edition of What's the 411 Sports. I'm going to tell you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Come on, guys. We need you followers out there to jump on board. Twitter us. Tweet us on Twitter. Friend us on Facebook. I know, I love that
You're
stuff.
old guy. I understand. It's fine.
All right, a little snow on the roof. All at 411 Sports TV, okay? I'm Glenn Gilliam on behalf of Naomi Gray and Jason Schott, or Jason Schott and Naomi Gray.
Stop it.
Watch What's the 411. We can see you next week, guys. See you then. Fantastic.